All right, joined today by someone who was initially a fan of the podcast, and now he's very quickly become a guest on the podcast. I met him a few months ago. Well, I didn't actually meet him a few months ago. I was doing a little off-season camp, I guess, up in Bright, and this guy was flying up Mount Buffalo at the time. And thought, Jesus, he either looks like he's going really hard or he's really fast. And then a couple of months later, he's now the under-23 Australian champ. So it turns out he is actually just really fast. Julian Baudry, welcome to Train Like a Monk.
Thank you.
So, a couple of weeks ago now, you won the Aussie under-23 road race. You've got to be very good to win those, I think. How's your life changed since then, I guess? That's the first question.
Yeah, I guess my phone hasn't stopped ringing since then.
Yeah, okay.
It's just been going off, but it's slowly started to calm down now. It's been a bit more relaxing, but yeah, it's been a wild last week and a half.
Yeah, I guess you probably... So, before that, I guess, if we take things back, for those that don't know, Julian, you've just finished school.
Yeah.
Going straight into that. Had you had much... Do you think you were on many people's minds in the cycling world before then? Like, what were your junior results up until this point?
My junior results weren't great. I just had, my nationals and my Oshies weren't very good. And I just, slowly built from there and did lots of the national series rounds.
Yep.
And then managed to do well enough there to win the overall national series, which definitely helped a lot. But, yeah, just kept building with my coach, Marco.
Yeah, so Marco... been on the podcast. You managed to get in a lot of questions for Marco, request a lot of questions for Marco when we had him on.
Yeah.
And he's someone that you've worked with. I guess what changes have you made to get to this point now where you've gone from, in the junior series not being anything particularly special to now winning the under-23 champs as a bottom age under-23? Has there been any major changes that you've done, or it's just been the consistent hard work to get there?
A combination of both. I think when I first started with Marco, I had never really trained that much in my life. This is December 2023.
Yep.
And I just wasn't eating enough, I feel like. So I was just losing power. I was losing way too much weight.
And were you intentionally not eating enough? Like, were you thinking, okay, I need to be skinny, or was it just purely because...
I think it's just because I didn't realise how much riding I was actually doing, and I just wasn't eating enough.
Yeah, and did you work with someone to start eating more, or it was just something that came...
I think it's just something that came, and I think, I had a mid-season break in the winter of last year.
Yeah.
And after that, I was obviously eating a bit more because I wasn't riding, and I was like, yeah.
And you came back
flying. And I came
then.
back... Yeah, with a bit of extra weight, and then just once that cut down, I was just eating kind of the same thing, but riding way more.
Yeah, okay.
So that just kept my weight nice and steady, I think, and I was able to put on more muscle.
Yeah, okay.
And produce more power.
And I guess before that, when you were in the juniors, had you had much knowledge, I guess, in the nutrition world in terms of what you need to be eating as an athlete, or is that something that you've really just picked up on in the last year?
It has been mostly in the last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always had sort of an idea, but now it's become a lot. I've become a lot more focused on that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting chatting to you about it because it's something that every pro cyclist has learned throughout their career. Well, the pro cyclists of my generation, because over the last 10 years it's changed a lot. Whereas you're now coming into the sport at a time where everyone already knows that you need to eat a lot to be well fueled.
Of course.
So I guess hopefully you're not having those years where you're suffering through it. It might have been a 6-month period where you're suffering through it, and then from now on it'll be a bit nicer to always be feeling good and not be underfueling yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's definitely all about.
So you might pick up a bit of wind on the podcast here. Explain to everyone where we are right now, actually.
We're in Adelaide at the Victoria Park Crit Circuit.
Yep.
We've got about an hour to a race start, so yeah, we're getting ready to race.
Yeah, so we're about to go out there and race against each other, which hopefully I don't get stuck chasing you. Looking at how you've been going the last little while, that's going to be a tough job. And last night I did a race here and missed the break, so I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen today. So if we end up in the same move, we should be okay. We do have to race soon though, so I'll get into the usual questions pretty quickly today.
Yeah.
What is your favourite training session?
I just love like just a long zone 2 ride almost.
Oh yeah.
It's just such good training loops around Bright, so I can just go ride wherever I want.
Did
I
you
love
get to
that.
do much of that in juniors? Because so you were at school and you
Yeah.
actually finished year 12, which I think is pretty impressive because a
Mm.
lot of riders seem to just slowly fade out of school and not get the job
Yeah.
done when they're targeting being a pro cyclist. I think that's sort of becoming more and more the trend, but you
Yeah.
managed to finish school where you're able to fit in much of the zone 2 and the longer endurance stuff last year.
During the winter, it was really hard
Yeah.
because I take the bus an hour to school there and
Okay.
back. So I'd get home and it'd pretty much already be dark. So I'd be spending my weeks. During the week, I'd just be on the trainer.
Okay.
And then I get home and I get to
Early
ride
starts
outside.
or after school?
After school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. The early starts, it's just way too early.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. And then like, once it got into like the exam period, and I didn't have to go to school anymore, but I was still studying, it was a lot nicer because I could just go ride in the middle of the day and study around that, and I was getting loads of hours done.
It's a funny one when being a cyclist, finishing off school, everyone else is sort of knuckling down studying and you're just appreciating the time not in class so that you can get out on the bike a bit
Exactly,
more.
yeah.
Were you listening to lectures while you were riding?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
And even, see, I used to use that as an excuse. I'd go out and ride and say, oh, I'm listening to the lectures, it's all good.
Yeah,
No, I guess whenever you got time to ride, you make the most of it then.
yeah. Pretty
And
much.
then what would be your least favourite training session?
Oh, like VO2s.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They're no fun.
What's Marco's standard VO2 session he gives you?
Oh, there's like these, or like there's some 3-minuters.
3-minute
Or like
VO2s.
strength efforts. I hate strength efforts.
You hate strength
like
as well.
3-minute strengthies.
3, yeah.
Like at FTP, that's horrible.
Yeah, no, I don't know too many people that like the shorter strengthies at the
No.
high torque. Back to the good stuff. What would be your favourite training loop? So tell everyone where you live first off, I guess.
I'm in Brighton, Victoria.
Yeah.
I think my favourite one's just going like just up to Falls and back.
Okay.
It's
just
such
out
a
and back.
yeah, it's such a nice climb.
Yeah. Interesting. So do you prefer Falls over Buffalo then?
If I've got a really long ride, then yeah, I'll go up Falls.
Yeah.
Because it's just a nice. You can like stop at the top and raid the food works and slam a coke.
The food works there is expensive though.
Yeah.
I think you want to hope you get a good contract if you're going
Yeah.
gonna be hunting all the food.
Yeah, of course.
No, that is a good one. I think Falls is a little bit underrated. I think people love Buffalo so much because it's so easy to get to, but I really like Falls as well. When you got efforts, so Marco's got some efforts in your session, do you like to get them done at the start or at the end of the ride?
I usually I do it at the start, but sometimes if I'm trying to work to the end or if I'm doing like national simulations or something, I'll do it towards the end.
So for Perth Nationals, were you doing some pre-fatigued efforts?
Yeah, I was.
I think that was the big thing about your Nationals win and it's probably similar to mine. This is a real throwback now for how long ago my Nationals win was. But the power at the end wasn't super impressive.
No.
It wasn't like a crazy 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, same with me.
I had to look at your file because I got access to it, and it's a very impressive file, like day-wise. But if you looked at a specific 2 or 3 or 5 minute period, nothing too crazy.
No.
But it's just being able to do it at the end of such a hard race.
Yeah.
And you see, it's not like your attack was crazy or anything, but just guys just blow up and can't hold the wheel at that point in the race. So is that something you did work on in training?
Yeah, I did have some pretty long days of just doing efforts throughout the whole day long.
Yeah, okay.
Which is pretty brutal.
Do you like that kind of training, I guess, where you've got a busy session with stuff going on throughout the whole day?
I think it is cool because it's like you're not doing like 3 sets or 5 sets of the same thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to like mix it up throughout the day. You've got all these different ones to do, which is a bit fun.
Yeah. I guess, are you doing, and this is, jumping forward a few questions usually, but do you do most of your training up there solo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually. If I've got like an endurance ride, I might go with the bunch or I'll grab a few mates. But if I'm doing efforts, it's usually all by myself.
Do you get to train much with Pappy or does he just give you the cold shoulder most of the time?
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't. He keeps to himself.
Well,
but
if you go back and listen to Pappy's episode, Pappy does say he likes to train solo. So it's hard, man. And in fairness, it's probably difficult to train with him most of the time.
Yeah.
Of how quick he's going.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, he's a beast on the training side of things.
Mm-hmm.
When you've got your plan from Marco, are you someone that sticks to the plan or do you change it up based on what's going on? Maybe it was at school or maybe now, just how you're feeling in between races?
I don't really change it much at all. If
Okay.
say if it's like a logistical thing,
Yeah.
like I need that for work or something, I might
Yeah.
switch it around. But other than that, I just keep it.
Yeah.
I
And
just
so,
trust the process.
what work are you doing at the moment, or have you scrapped all the work now?
Well, in the last few weeks, it's been scrapped because I've been away
Yeah.
for like a month almost. But
When you're at home,
when I'm
what
at
do
home,
you do?
I work at the bike shop
Yeah.
in Bright.
So it's pretty old school, I think. Like, it's good to see. I always have this issue now with juniors that I'm coaching, or even just people that come to me for advice. And I used to always say, yeah, make sure you finish school, go to uni or get a job, whatever you're going to do, and then put the effort still into the riding alongside those. And then if it starts going well, then that'll come naturally, and don't sort of scrap everything else. That was my old school advice. Now it seems like if you don't leave school at 15 years old and go to Europe for 3 years and just commit to it 100%, that you're never going to make it. So it's good to see that, I guess, you've gone the old school route, finished school, job in a bike shop. That's like the classic one for every cyclist growing up. And then, yeah, you're still able to get to the point now where you've like come into under 23s absolutely flying and beating all of these kids that have, I guess, scrapped a lot of other aspects of their life. Is it something that was intentional to do things that way, or it's just a matter of you didn't have a choice, that's what you had to do?
Yeah, I feel like it is what I had to do because I didn't expect to be in the form that I was. So I was more planning to just save up for Europe.
Yep.
So I was just trying to work as much as I could to save up.
Yep.
But yeah, I was not expecting that national swim.
Yeah, and I think I guess I don't know how the order of these podcasts will come out, but I talked with Aaron Gate yesterday, Kiwi national champ, before he started Tour Down Under today, and his thing was don't take any opportunity for granted. That was his piece of advice, in that you make the most of each opportunity, because I think at your age especially, you can think, oh, I've got years and years. I don't have to worry too much. There'll be other things to do. And then you had this opportunity where you've made the break of the Nationals under 23 race, which everyone knows the break usually wins. So it's such a hard break to go for. You can be on an amazing day and just miss it through bad luck or whatever reason. You've got there. You don't get that. You might not have that opportunity again in your next 3 years of under 23s. So that's, I think, really good that you're just able to make the most of that, and you're in that situation where you could go for the win and able to convert it to a win.
Yeah.
So I think, it's worked for you in that sense, but I think also, I guess, going forward, it'll give you that confidence, I imagine, that when you've got that opportunity, you're able to take it.
Yeah, I think it's, just being able to go in the break and stuff it's like, I was always planning to go in the break at the race. Like that was my original goal, and then just see how I go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's a really good one to just... So many people get so excited when they make the break, that when their goal is to make the break, they make the break and then that's job done in their eyes. But I think a lot of people forget about the whole purpose of being in the break is that you can win from the break then.
Yeah.
So the fact that you've done that there, I think you will possibly find it a little harder next time, because you might not get quite as much of a leash, because everyone knows who you are now. And you probably find that already, like even racing the last 3 days, I'm not sure that people are as likely to let you just get a little bit of time up the road, and you're more likely to get followed around a bit. I'll certainly be following you around tonight after that. But yeah, I think it's just when you've got that opportunity, it's really great to take it the way that you did there. Okay, so I guess we touched on it a little bit already, but when you're training in Bright, you get some pretty nasty storms up that way. Are you someone that jumps on the trainer when that happens, or do you switch your days around, or you just go out in the storm and get it done?
Sometimes I'll switch the days around if I can see that it's like a sunny day tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
But the stormy days, I usually just get out there.
Yeah.
Or if it's like, depends on the session though.
Well, Marco is a bit of a hard bastard, so I know that he has been... he's had a few athletes that he just tells you've got a rain jacket, and go and put the rain jacket on and get out there. Has he given you that advice at any point?
Not yet, no. Okay. Where there's been two got up in Bright.
I know he gives that advice to people that are more likely to skip 3 or 4 days in a row because it's been raining. So I imagine you're not the person that would do that. You're probably going to jump on the trainer and get it done no matter what.
Yeah.
All right, when you are out training, you solo a bit of the time there, and we already touched on it at the top of Falls, but are you someone that stops on a training ride? Do you like a cafe park up?
I don't do a cafe park up, but if I'm like absolutely shelled, I'll just go to the servo and slam a cold drink and some lollies.
I guess in Bright, just the nature of it, by the time you're at a cafe, you're at home anyway.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
There's only really like the servo at Falls and like in Mount Beauty,
And
those ones get raided. But
one thing I noticed as well, I remember being, when I was training 17, 18 years old, I often wasn't doing the cafe park up because I couldn't afford to do too many cafe park ups per week.
absolutely.
So I have some strong memories of pushing through some pretty bad hunger fights just to get home.
Yeah.
And not have to pay the $8 to stock up on food at the
Yeah,
shop
yeah,
when
yeah.
you need the carbs. So when you are out training then, I guess if you're not stopping at a cafe, what's the favourite food? What do you take in your back pockets?
It's usually just lollies.
Okay.
That's the main thing, yeah.
Yeah. No,
Just have loads of lollies.
Keep it simple. And then I think I've come full circle back around to those. Just a mood booster, and they help you get through the hard days.
It's a lot cheaper than buying actual fuel.
Yeah, actual stuff. Well, I don't think you have to buy too much race nutrition the way that you've been going. But thankfully, the lollies always get you out of trouble. And then what would be your go-to brekkie pre-ride?
Pre-ride, I usually do toast
Yeah.
with like some jam, some butter and honey.
Yep.
Usually.
Simple stuff. And then post-ride?
Post-ride, I have my protein shake straight away.
Yeah.
And then just like whatever's in the house really, but sometimes I'll just make some eggs.
Whatever mum made for dinner the night
Yeah,
before.
exactly. Some leftovers.
Yeah, whatever's easy. Okay, do you ever do any low carb training at all? Have you done it before?
Not really.
Yeah.
I don't usually eat much on my Rico days.
Yeah.
Like during the ride, I won't really take any nutrition because it's just hour easy.
Yeah.
But
And it's always downhill to Bright, whichever direction you're going. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's interesting. I don't know if your generation will ever have to suffer through the low carb rides because there's not too much research supporting that now. But then I don't know. We still might see a bit of it. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Cross training. Have you done any cross training? I know it's probably been tricky because you don't have that much time but until this point, and that time you want to spend on the bike. Is it something that you're going to build into your program?
I did want to start trying to do some cross country skiing in the winter.
Okay.
But now that I won't be here for the Aussie winter, so that's a bit different. I tried to do some running a bit last year, but that failed miserably.
Were you a good runner in school?
Oh, a little bit. I got the school cross country this year in my last year of school, but other than that, nah. Yeah. I'd completely destroyed my legs doing that, so that's not happening again.
I found the same. I wasn't particularly great in younger years, and then throughout the years, like obviously cycling, you're just endurance training.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if you don't have great running economy, the other kids aren't doing that level of endurance training.
My lungs carried me through that effort.
And the legs just paid for it after.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Couldn't walk for a week.
Yeah. All right, we'll go into the rapid fire just to make sure we got time for a warm up before our race. How are we going for time?
Oh, 6:15 we got.
Oh, we got ages then. All right, so this is you've listened to the podcast, so you know all of these, but you've had time to think about them, so pressure's on. Aero or lightweight?
Aero.
Disc or rim brake?
Disc.
Have you ridden many rim brake bikes?
Yeah, I have. My first few bikes were rim brake, and my TT bikes were rim brake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Still old school.
Yeah.
Tubeless or clincher tire?
Tubeless.
Okay. Saddlebag or handlebar bag?
Saddlebag.
Yeah. Do you run a saddlebag though when you're training?
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
Good to hear that you're not the puppy spec of puppy just raw dogs that.
Yeah, nah.
No spares.
Nah.
Socks over or under leg warmers?
Socks under. You put the overshoes over.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good call. Gloves or no gloves?
No gloves. If it's really cold, I'll wear gloves.
Yeah. Okay.
But full winter gloves. If it's warm enough to not wear gloves, I'm not wearing them.
Yeah. Heat or altitude training?
Heat.
Have you done any altitude training yet? Actually, I guess.
No. I sort of like when you go up riding, there's a little bit, but it's not huge.
Yeah. Town sign sprints or com hunting?
Com hunting.
Early morning or pro hours?
Pro hours now. It used to be early morning, but now it's
the alarm's not getting set to
it. Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Complete Rico day, Rico spin or complete day off?
I like to do a Rico spin.
Yep.
Just because sometimes my legs feel really crap, so I just want to flush all the crap out.
Yep. Pasta or rice?
Pasta.
Sweet or savoury?
I don't know. Sweet, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you prefer to ride with a half wheeler or a wheel sucker?
I'll be a wheel sucker. Then at least I'm helping them out.
Yeah. Squeaky disc brake or creaky bottom bracket?
I feel like if I have a creaky bottom bracket, I can a squeaky disc brake.
Okay.
The creaky bottom bracket, you can like feel it. I can just put my headphones in if I've got
yeah.
the disc brake.
Yep. Would you prefer to be completely hunger flat or severely dehydrated?
Hunger flat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get some bad spots out where you are if you don't get water.
Yeah,
In
no,
serious
it's really
trouble.
hard to like. Sometimes the springs are all dried up. It hasn't
Yeah,
rained in
yeah.
a month, and
Yeah.
you
No,
can't
the
get
springs
any
are
water.
running, it's fine, but
Yeah.
otherwise you just completely cook
Cooked.
sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, very last question before we go do our warm up. What is your best piece of advice?
Damn, I haven't thought about this one.
Yeah, it's always the hardest one that gets
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
But you've just picked up the under-23 national champs. So I guess what was the bit that got you there? It might be advice that you got from someone else.
Probably just believe in yourself.
Yep.
Like if you've
So
done
did you have that belief coming into the race that you were a chance if you were in the right position?
Yeah, I feel like I did, but it's always hard to know.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really have a proper
I
comparison
guess
to
having
everyone.
that belief without the expectation is the perfect situation.
Yeah.
So if you're going in, I guess, like looking at one of your opponents, Fergus, who ended up second, he'd won it the year before. There's that expectation. Like he obviously believes he can win it, but there's also that expectation that he should win it almost.
Yeah.
You're always a great situation if you believe you can do it without putting too much expectation on yourself.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the most important thing. Like it doesn't matter what other people are thinking or whether they think you can do it. As long as you think you can do it without that expectation you can do it, probably means you race a bit smarter because you're not thinking, okay, it's all on me, I have to pull this breakaway.
Yeah.
And then having that belief of, yeah, I can do this if I'm in the right spot.
Yeah.
So I guess it's usually how I wrap it up, but everyone probably wants to know what's next for you. What's the plan this year?
Finish off a few more rounds of the Pro Velo.
Yep.
With the team, and then head over to Europe.
Okay, where are you going in Europe? Is the phone still ringing or?
Phone's still ringing, but the plan currently is to go to Belgium with Adam Six Decker.
Oh, nice.
And they're a Conti team, so I'll get to race all around Europe. So
yeah, cool.
That's the plan.
Mostly in Belgium or all different?
And I think it'll mostly be Belgium and France.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good move. Like, as much as you're someone that can clearly climb pretty well, and I've looked at your sprint numbers, but let's just say you're probably not going to win a bunch sprint here tonight against some of these sprinters.
Yep.
So a lot of people tend to think, don't go to Belgium if that's the case, but I think it's just a great place to cut your teeth, learn how to ride in the bunch really well.
Absolutely.
You've got the strength still like at that level where you're going to be able to put yourself in situations to win the races, and you've got enough punch to still get away at the key moments to be able to win it. So I think that's a really good place to go. Get a good bit of racing over there, learn a lot, and I think you've come in at the right time now where you still get to do all this good racing in Australia in the Pro Velo League.
Yeah.
Get to do some crits here against us old blokes, and then I'm looking forward to watching how you go, and
nice. Thank you.
hopefully I'll see you over in Europe at some point this year, and in the future as well.
Easy. Thank you very much.
Cheers for coming on, mate, and don't tear me up too bad tonight.
We'll see. Thank you.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you.
Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you follow Julian as well and see what he gets up to. Cheers.
All good. Cheers.